Welcome back to Soul Moon's Rising Tarot, everyone. I'm Jennifer, if you're new here. This video is a response to V Love and Crystals for the hashtag Tarot Tribe tag. So we are going to jump into these questions and hopefully you guys learn a little bit more about me. So the very first question is, how did you get into tarot? Well, it's kind of a boring story, really. I was in some groups, and one of the admins who was in a couple of the groups that I was in was offering to teach a tarot class, and I just kind of felt compelled to do it, so I did. And really, the rest is history. That was 5 or 6 years ago, I think. I forget exactly how long ago it was. It was a while back, but yeah, I absolutely loved it. I, decided, well, I didn't decide. I kind of figured out that I had a bit of a gift for it, something that I never knew. In fact, I doubted myself for the first, good 6 months that I was even reading the cards right. But my mentor at the time, she really helped me get at ease with my readings and be more confident. So yeah, really, really loved it and have been doing it ever since. Question number 2 is, are you drawn to tarot or oracle more, and why? So this is kind of hard. I have more oracle cards because I've seen more oracle decks in person and have wanted to take them home with me. But neither one actually calls to me more. I use them each for different purposes. So it just depends on what type of reading I do, which deck I'm going to pull out, be it oracle or tarot. Question number 3 is, if you could create your own deck, tarot, oracle, what would it be? I don't know if I'm a good enough artist to create a deck. I could team up with somebody. I absolutely would. And because I'm so passionate about spiritual awakening and energies, it would probably be a deck about that. Most likely oracle, unless we could figure out a way to get those messages into tarot. But I would definitely need somebody that was really strong in the art department to team up with. Because I get great ideas, but my hand and the image in my head just don't go out on paper. So I definitely would have to team up for that one. So question number 4 is, show us your first deck, whether it's oracle or tarot or one of each. Which is your first that you learned with? So I actually have 2 that I was learning with. The very first one I got when I started the class about 5 or 6 years ago. I ordered it off Amazon. I just got the Rider-Waite deck because I had no idea what I was doing. So very standard Rider-Waite deck. This is the very first. I didn't pick it out. I ordered it online, and whoever packed the box picked this deck for me. So like I said, just a standard Rider-Waite. I actually have since given this deck to my oldest daughter, who just turned 13. So you'll probably get to see her more often here on the channel. And then while I was still learning tarot, I also got myself this deck. This is the Tarot Illuminati deck. Now it's very similar to Rider-Waite, but the details on the cards are a lot more distinct. There's a lot more details, definitely. And I really appreciate a good deck with really good artwork. So I had to have this one. This was the very first deck that ever called to me. And I was only 2 months into learning how to read tarot anyway. So I learned on both of them. But really this one was my very first deck. Now my first oracle deck was one on crystals. Okay, so this is my very first oracle deck. It's kind of a non-traditional oracle. So you have a picture of the crystal on one side, and then on the back side you have a description. And my husband actually picked this out for me for Christmas one year because I love crystals. If you guys, couldn't tell behind me, all the crystals on my shelf there. So for that Christmas, I got both this crystal deck and this oracle deck, which is all about essential oils. So I've always been into, well, not always, I've been doing oils for about almost 9.5 years. So I love essential oils. And so this was one of my first 2 oracle decks. This is the Essential Oil Oracle by Lisa Powers, who's also a Reiki master. And she was my Reiki master, actually. So she created this deck. And so I wanted to get it, 1, to support her, and 2, because I love essential oils. And it has, the way it's set up, it also deals with chakras, and there's great inspiration and stuff in this deck. So I absolutely love that deck. Now, question number 5 is to show you my most recent decks. Well, if you've been paying attention to my streams, you've probably already seen them, but I'll show you anyway. So the very last one that I got is this one here, which is the Sacred Self-Care deck by Jill Pyle from Goddess Provisions. And it is all about self-care, which is the reason I got it, because self-care is one of my really biggest things that I'm into. And I'm always promoting it on both of my channels. So it was just in alignment with what I was doing, so I needed this deck. Now, one that I actually pre-ordered solely because I love the artist and the author of this deck. I have their other deck that they did together, and I absolutely had to have this deck. This is the Starseed Oracle deck, which I actually have featured in a box right over here with a larger print of it. And this deck, Danielle Knoll and Rebecca Campbell. Rebecca Campbell is the artist. Rebecca Campbell's the author. Danielle Knoll is the artist. So Rebecca and Danielle make such a great pair. They just do wondrous things together. And Danielle's artwork is by far my favorite out of any oracle or tarot I have ever seen. She does have a couple of tarot decks as well, so definitely check her out. She's on Instagram. I believe she's on Facebook too, and they both have websites, so definitely check her out. In fact, I will link both of their websites in the description box so that you guys can see the amazing things that they put out. So they make a fantastic team, and I absolutely love this deck. So the second part of this question is to show you my most recent crystal purchase. Well, my most recent crystals I actually didn't pick out myself. They came to me in a Goddess Provisions box, but I still love them. Okay, so the theme for this box was amethyst. And so they sent this little bracelet with an amethyst stone in it. And it's gorgeous. And then they sent a pyramid, which is also gorgeous, but check this out, guys. It has the eye on the bottom, and so it's a great seer stone, which we know amethyst is great for the crown chakra anyway. So this is a great stone if you are, reading tarot or whatever. It's a good way to bring in more of the energy and really get a clear picture of what you're reading. So question number 6 is, what tip or trick would you give to a new tarot reader? I think the biggest thing for me is to make sure you learn the very basics. So like, what do the colors mean? And what do the different symbols mean? What elements are in it and what do they mean? What do they represent? Because learning the basics and then going with your intuition is going to guide you through what the cards are actually saying to you. Because you can draw any card, and really, you can read anything from this card, but really it's the story that the cards put out together, as well as what really you're drawn to in each individual card at that moment in time. For example, you've got a lot of red and purple and blue in this card, so you could be dealing with something that is like ancestral security issues. So like, your ancestors were really in charge of the family money. Maybe they're the ones that actually made the money of the family and everybody else has just kind of, been living off of it. But it may or may not actually mean that. So that's just one particular reading. You could get so many different messages from the same card in different readings, and sometimes even the same reading. So definitely know the basics so that, you know, you can actually delve further into what the card is trying to tell you. Question number 7 is, who was the first tarot reader YouTuber that you actually followed? So I think the very first tarot tuber that I followed was Shanetta with Shanetta's Divine Tarot. But I also added Gem Goddess and Stargirl, the Practical Witch, right at about the same time. All 3 of them do tarot. 2 of them are not solely tarot channels, but I did add all 3 of them right at about the same time that I started watching tarot on YouTube. So I guess I don't have one. I have 3 that were essentially my first tarot tubers that I started watching. Question number 8 is, what was life like before tarot or holistic path? For me, I started using essential oils about 9 years ago, and that predated when I learned tarot. So that was kind of where I was at before tarot. I was really interested in the energies, and I started learning Reiki and tarot at about the same time. So really, I was kind of already on a holistic path, and I was already in the midst of a spiritual awakening. So tarot was kind of just an addition to helping me clarify what I was already going through. So it was a means for me to work through my spiritual awakening on a personal level, so I could get messages from my guides that were been trying to give me messages that I couldn't understand yet. So that's kind of where I was at when I started learning tarot. So question number 9 is, what is your favorite 3-card spread? To be perfectly honest, I don't use tarot spreads very often. Usually I only use them when I'm asked to. I like to go intuitively into how the cards play out. So I don't really use tarot spreads very often enough to name one for you. So I guess past, present, future is probably the one I've done the most, but not really drawn to any one particular spread. So the next question, number 10, is, what is your most anticipated deck for 2020? Me personally, I'm actually going to be getting both of Danielle Knowles' tarot decks, Moonchild and the Starchild. So those are my most anticipated ones. Now, they've been out for a long time, and some of you may even have them already. But I really want to complete my collection from her with the decks. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year. Question number 11 is along the same lines. It is, what are your top 5 decks on your tarot wish list? Well, let's go over here and pull up Amazon and I will show you. Okay, so I currently only have 4 decks on my Amazon wish list. The first one is Soul Truth Self-Awareness card deck. I think that's a great one for inspiration that I could use during live streams, or if I'm going through something personal, or for friends going through something. So that's just a really good one that I think would be great with my arsenal. The next one is the Gospel of Thomas, the Gnostic Wisdom of Jesus. And I really like this deck for the fact that for the more religious people that might come to me, they may be more comfortable getting wisdom from Jesus and the apostles versus, you know, a regular Rider-Waite style deck. So that's why that one's on my list. Number 3 is Crystal Spirits Oracle, because I need all the crystal decks that I can possibly have, because I just love my crystals. And the last one, last but not least, the Secret Language of Light Oracle Transmissions from Your Soul. So again, that's another one that is a way for your higher self to talk to you. And I think it'd be a really good addition to the arsenal of cards I already have on that subject. And then of course I want the 2 other tarot decks from Danielle Knowles, but those aren't on my Amazon wish list. So yeah, they're just my wish list in my head. All right, question number 12. What were your fears and impressions about tarot? I really didn't have any. I went into it with a completely open mind. I really didn't know much about it. So I didn't have any preconceived misconceptions or anything like that, which I think really helped me learn from the very basic level, because I didn't have to overcome anything that I was taught in the past from, you know, family or religion or anything like that. Question number 14 is, would you ever like to start reading tarot? Well, considering this is a tarot channel and I do live tarot readings every week, yeah, I think I'd start reading tarot. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I will continue to read tarot, and you guys will definitely see more of it from me. Question number 15. Have you ever gotten a reading from another tarot reader? Absolutely yes, because that was the main thing when we were learning how to read tarot, is we were all reading for each other and all learning together with the guidance of our mentors. I have since gotten readings from other tarot readers who was also experienced already, and I love getting readings from other people. I love giving readings to other readers as well, because, I don't know, it's fun. We all do it a little bit differently and see things a little bit differently. So it's fun to get somebody else's perspective on, you know, the same cards. Question number 16 is, what kind of vibes do you want to feel when you're giving a reading? So personally, good vibes only. I have a sticker that is actually behind the camera. I'm not going to show you guys because my desk is messy, but you know, good vibes. I want to resonate with the reader and or recipient just as much as I want them to resonate with me. If it doesn't feel right, I won't do the reading, or I won't get a reading from that person. I'm not opposed to giving bad news. In fact, I've done it many times, but there's a way to deliver bad news that is not negative, if that makes sense. If you've seen my live streams, you know I've given bad news before, but that doesn't mean that it's not high vibe, that it doesn't mean that, you know, it's not a good response, that it's, you know, gloom and doom or whatever. So I don't do the whole woo-woo gloom and doom type spooky tarot readings, even though I like spooky things, but I don't know. I like upbeat. I like people to be receptive, and that's really what I expect. Number 17 is to tag another tarot reader. So if you have made it through this video to this point and you read tarot, I am challenging you. You have officially been tagged in the Tarot Tribe tag. So you are now get to do the questions, and I can't wait to see your answers. Make sure that you tag me in it, or, you know, comment here with your video link when you're done so I can go and support your video too. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time.